Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nick from ThreadX3 Productions, and I'm here to do a quick review / impressions of Ready, Set, Heroes. So what do I think about this overall? Well, this isn't a groundbreaking game, and I really feel like this might have been better as a free-to-play game, or at least much cheaper, or even it should have premiered as a PlayStation Plus free game. So let's break down the things that I like about it. So the art style, the look of it, the animals are really cute. I love all the enemies and how they look, and just the overall aesthetic of the game is actually very pleasing. Combat is basic and it's really easy to pick up. And that's all I like. The rest of the game is full of things that I hate and make me regret spending the $20. So let's break down all the things I don't like. Combat is basic and kind of just stays that way. Yes, there's some secondary attacks and some special attacks, but they're just so basic. At first, the basic isn't a bad thing, but it quickly makes the game so mindlessly repetitive that it gets boring. And after just a few playthroughs, which is not very long. The time between combo and dodge roll is way too high. Way too high. I get that they were going for a more arcadey feel, but not being able to dodge leads to cheap hits, which inevitably leads to cheap deaths. Even though enemies do telegraph their attacks pretty well, sometimes if you're in the middle of a combo and they're coming from behind, there's no way of dodging. And even if you do dodge, when you dodge, there's not this window of invulnerability, which there are with a lot of other games. Instead, if you roll into something by accident, then, well, you're gonna get hit anyways. Sometimes you can just stop attacking until you take damage. My wife encountered this bug where she was unable to attack, special attack, or even dodge. She was basically just able to move around. We tried to figure out what was going on, we paused the game, we unpaused it, and the only thing that worked is she had to take damage, and suddenly she was able to start attacking again. This really sucked because she was in an area where she needed to attack a crystal to move on. Then later I experienced the same bug, and so then I had to take a hit just so I can keep going. This was so frustrating. The treasure time is frustratingly random. I get that they wanted to have a random item at the end and to go along with this kind of rogue style of game, because each area was like a randomness of random. But I'd spend the next like 5 rooms just ignoring the boxes because what came out was just rubbish. Simple fix to this would be the more rooms you pass through, the higher the likelihood to get a more rare item. If this already exists in the game, then I'm talking out of my ass and the system just sucks because there's so many times there was one time I finally got a purple. I was so surprised to get a purple, but then I spent the next like 10 rooms getting nothing but greens. This is ridiculous. Hitboxes are very inconsistent. I've been hit by an arrow passing me by and it strikes the air next to me. I've been hit by a thorny bush, giggity, and I know I wasn't that close. Oh, and by the way, why, when you do local split screen with only 2 people, is the screen as small as if there were 4 people? Having it so small was so frustrating because it's like, there's only 2 of us. Characters don't seem to bring anything to the table. All the characters are super adorable, and I love the way that they look. But that's all they're for. Look, you have 5 stats: health, defense, speed, attack, magic, and you have 6 starting characters. Especially since this is supposed to be kind of a dungeon crawler, it would just make sense for each character to have slightly better at something and maybe worse at another from the very start. Like, the bunny could be really fast, but also less health because it's smaller. The beaver could be the tankier character, but slower because he's fat. He's a thick boy. And there are also this huge missed opportunity that they could have had this kind of hero shooter aspect to it, where each character had an ultimate, or at least a skill that they could do that nobody else could. Maybe the raccoon could grab you and steal some gems. The bunny could jump on somebody and make them slow down as they had little stars above their head. The woodpecker could peck at you, maybe just 5 times, just in a cone-shaped area. The frog could use his tongue to get a character closer to it, or if he hits nothing, he could launch himself forward by holding down the button. The squirrel could throw acorns, and the beaver could slap down its tail and do like an area of effect. And these are all just off the top of my head. I get that they were trying to get a balanced game because they wanted multiplayer, but that brings me to the final problem. No one is playing this game. Now I'll admit that after having the chance to force my wife to play with me, the potential of the Brawl mode is actually really fun and is clearly what this game was made for. You go through the dungeons as normal, however this time it's timed. So you could either spend a little more time each level making sure you get all the gems and having your stats boost, or you could try to get the furthest in the dungeon and getting more chances at the treasure time, getting more equipped. Or you could try a mixture of both. Then at the end you are giving a random challenge. The one I was able to play involved going around to various barrels and collecting coins, attacking enemies, or even attacking each other. You can even kill each other. I also seen one where you could feed walruses sushi and knock each other off the ice. The variation of challenges seemed really fun and could make for a great party game. But no one's playing the game. The fact that I cannot find 3 other people in the entire world playing this game, and oh yeah, they could also play on the PC, is very troubling. Overall, is this game terrible? No, in fact it's quite fun. But the dungeon crawl would be the only mode you could really play because no one's playing this game. Unless this was a PS Plus free-to-play game, then everybody on the PlayStation, or at least the people who actually pay for it, I guess, but there would be so many more people here on day one, they'd see that this game is actually kind of fun and it's really good as a party game. I feel like the 4-people Brawl mode could make this game reach its potential, and I do feel like it needs an audience. A lot of my negativity comes from the fact that I paid $20 for this and I really haven't been able to play something because it's just a bunch of repetitiveness. But add in the flavor of competitiveness and suddenly the mechanics start to make a little bit more sense because it's at the sake of balance. I still think there would be cool, hero shooter abilities, but I digress. So this makes the game a little hard to pin down to a rating because I personally regret spending the $20 that I had to spend. However, with the right community, I do feel like this game is a good game. So please, make this a game free to play on PlayStation Plus, or even just free to play altogether. I know, this is weird coming from me, but I do think that some kind of cool cosmetics that you get on your little animals and making them all cute would actually be really good, and it would fit this style of gameplay as far as free to play. So I feel really weird giving this a score because I realized the vision, but really wasn't able to actually experience it. So I really feel like the best I could do is wait for a sale. Honestly, put this on as a free-to-play game or free on PlayStation Plus somehow. Just do it. This game would be so much better with people. When I was playing with my wife, this game was actually really fun and I liked it. So that's what I personally think about the game. That's what I personally, is my recommendation. I like the game, don't get me wrong, but at its current state and the fact that just nobody's playing it, I just regret it, I really do. But if you've been able to play the game, if you like it or whatever, that's great. Let me know when you're playing the game so I can actually play the game. Seriously, it's a good game. If it ever goes on sale, please pick it up. If it ever goes free to play, please pick it up. It is a good game overall. So that was my impression / review of Ready, Set, Heroes. Check out more of our stuff. You can click here. You can, check out some stuff there and junk. You could subscribe to us. You could click the little thing, the circle thing. You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. And I was Nick. This is Threat X3 Productions, and goodbye.